Hi everyone, this is Demari and welcome to my YouTube channel. I know this is a little bit different from the setup I had previously with my light work and shadow work reads, but I figured it's good to mix things up, right? As much as I think it's good to have the spread so we can just see them constantly, I thought it was nice to kind of introduce myself and make an appearance on my channel. So what I'm going to be doing for this particular read is your career and personal growth in relation to your work, and that's going to be for the sign of Virgo. So if you've been wondering if you're on the right track, where you're headed, any advice you need, then hopefully this will be useful for you in the coming weeks, okay? So to begin with, I just want to pull, I'm going to be using the intuitive tarot for this particular read. So I'm just going to go straight in and see what we get for you. Okay, so straight away it's come up, and this is in terms of where you're currently at with your career. And you've got the Five of Wands in reverse. So I feel like you've not been feeling very fulfilled lately. I feel like you've kind of hit a bit of a dead end maybe, or possibly you feel like you can't progress because something or someone is holding you back. It could be that you're in a job that doesn't allow you to progress, right? There's not really a way in which you can work your way up the ranks without maybe someone actually actively stepping in and speaking on your behalf. Or it could be that you just feel like you're not capable of doing your best work in this current position, right? That it's not allowing you to operate in the best way. So that's what I feel like with this card is representing for some of you. Obviously take that as it applies. So, I mean, there's a number of ways in which you can obviously process that, depending on how that applies for you. That's not to say that you are stuck and that there's no means of changing the circumstances, right? It just means that right now you're not feeling so fulfilled in your line of work. It could be that it's not the job that you wanted at all and you just kind of are doing it to get by. Or it could be that you kind of started off down this career track thinking that it was going to lead you to some ultimate goal, and it hasn't as of yet. However it resonates, take that as it comes. But what I want you to know is that there's always a solution, right? That you don't have to stay where you are. It just may mean that you need some support, that you may need to look at developing your skill set, seeing what other options there are. It may mean, actively communicating with your managers. Yeah, I've got the Six of Swords. So I think, that communication is kind of at a standstill right now, and that's partly why you feel unfulfilled, because you don't feel like you can effectively communicate your ideas to those who are in a position where you could maybe get a promotion. If you're working for yourself, it could be that you haven't found the right way to communicate with your audience what your business represents, or you haven't found the right mode of communication, right? So maybe the methods that you're using are currently not working, so you'll have to address that and see what could be the best way to get your business out there. Because I know that a lot of us rely heavily on social media, and that's great, but I found that a lot of the work that I get isn't just through sort of putting ads on social media or posts. It's actually through people's recommendations. It's actually through communicating with people online and obviously in person as well, and sharing what I do. So maybe that's something you need to look at if you're a business owner. But I feel like definitely it's in relation to communication more than anything. Rather than your skill set, is that something is not being effectively communicated in order for you to move forward, right? So what is it that's kind of hindering you? Okay, you see that Chariot straight away. So that makes me feel like Maybe you don't know which direction to take, or maybe that you are trying to move forward, but you haven't got the right people on side to help you do that. It could be that that you're waiting to get a pat on the back and get that promotion, which obviously, as we know, more often than not, it doesn't work like that. You have to actively go after it, so you have to open up that line of communication, right, in order to achieve that. It could be that you've put yourself out there, but you're still waiting on a decision. I think that would be relevant to some of you. And because of that, that's making you feel stagnant, right? That's making you impatient and wonder, like, where is this going, right? Like, is this going to happen or not? Because I need to know. I'm kind of sick of waiting. But I feel like for some of you, it's the case of you have to put yourself out there. If you really want to, see how far you can go with something, you have to be willing to go after it. You can't wait for it to come to you, right? That's what I feel like. So take it as it applies again. But I feel like, the important thing here is to communicate, right? It's so relevant to the post I just put out on my Instagram. If you're not following me, check out Demari and you'll see it. But it basically says communicate. The universe is listening, right? And that's the whole point. If you don't make your ambitions known to the universe and to those who can actively change it, say in this position, like if you're employed, then it's not going to change, right? You have to make your intentions known. You have to, offer up what it is that you want. You have to share that, right? Otherwise, there's no way that can come to light. So it's really important that you do go after what it is you truly want within whatever you're doing. Even if you're not doing what you want, then you have to go after it, right? So what's the other things that needs to be addressed in this current time for you, Virgo? Because I feel like communication is obviously one aspect of it, but there's going to be more, right? There's always more going on. So what else is there that's hindering your progress right now? Okay, Two of Cups. So it could be that you feel like a business partner is holding you back. It could be that you feel like you're not receiving the recognition you deserve. So that's what's kind of holding you back from pursuing it further. You feel like the person who's in a position to help you with this is not really recognizing your true worth and the value you bring to the company. But if you're operating if you have your own business and you have a partner, it could be that your other partner you feel like isn't seeing all that you're trying to do in order to move the business forward. Or maybe you feel like they're not doing their part to help you. It could also be a relationship that's holding you back. You feel like you can't dedicate the time that you need to your work because this person is so reliant on you right now emotionally. Maybe they're going through a rough time. It could be that they have depression. It could be that your partner is pregnant and therefore you're having to really help around the house more. It could be a whole host of things. But it could be that there's a partner that's really dependent on you right now and you feel like you can't give your full attention to your work or your creative endeavors, and that's what's really making you unhappy. So it's like I always say, everything in balance. I know obviously certain things take priority. For example, if you are with someone who is pregnant, obviously you have to be there and support them, but you have to also make time for the things that you really care about and the things, not that you don't care about them, of course, but I mean just like in terms of your interests, right, your creative hobbies or your work, right, you have to find a way to make it work. So you have to look at your work-life balance, I think. That will be the case for some of you. And it's not that it's set in stone either. I wrote an article about it actually, which will be on my website once it goes live. And it was talking about this work-life balance, that you need to find your own happy medium because it's not going to be the same for everybody. Some people are going to be working like 5 hours a day and then have to make time for their children, some other, hobbies or activities that their kids do and hobbies they do themselves, things like that, gym life, whatever. For other people, they can work 12 hours and it's no problem, but they still need the breaks, they still need to eat, hang out with their friends, whatever it is. You've got to make your own priority list and, create a schedule around that as best you can. Yeah, and I just pulled the Lovers and the Five of Cups. So I feel like for some of you, it is your relationships that's kind of holding you back. It's very demanding of your time and energy, and you feel like you're pouring so much into their needs that there's very little left for your own, so you need to address that. Because otherwise you're going to burn out and you're going to end up resenting that person, which is not what you want. So you have to communicate again, right? We had the Six of Swords. You have to communicate your needs as well. That's really important. Okay, so what's your biggest strengths? That's what I want to know. When it comes to your work and your personal development, what is your biggest strengths, Virgo? Okay. Got Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Wands. Wow. So you're actually very fortunate. You actually have, fortune tends to favour you, I feel, with that Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Cups. I feel like generally you do very well. People see the value you bring, and you often enjoy success in your endeavours. And at least if you don't see it in the material sense, then you get a great sense of accomplishment through the work you've created, because you usually create work of a very high caliber, right? That's what I feel like. That you are very creative, that you do, that you know how to do the best you can, and you usually deliver excellent results, right? In whatever it is that you do. So yeah, I don't feel like it's a case of lacking skills. I feel like it's just a need to communicate better, right? So what is your biggest weaknesses? I mean, personally, I would say it's the communication thing, but you never know, there may be something else underlying, right? Okay, and you've got the Two of Cups again, interesting. So I feel like, yeah, it's your ability to communicate your feelings, because obviously you're going to feel very strongly about certain things, right? But you're not communicating your needs to those that really need to know. So your partners, your business partners, or your boss, right? Your boss at work. So you really need to find a way to, just sit them down and just openly communicate how you feel, what you feel you're lacking, what you don't have the time to do. Or not feeling like you're being appreciated or rewarded for your efforts, right? These are the things that you need to communicate, because I feel like if you don't, it will get to a point where resentment will grow, and you'll actually start internalizing those feelings more, and it will come out in some really strange ways where you just start to really loathe everything, including yourself, and you'll just hate your life, right? So don't let it get to that point. Address it now, okay? So now I want to pull in relation to the direction you're moving in. So where is it that you're heading? Queen of Swords, awesome. So that means you are going to be doing that, right? That you are going to communicate, that you're going to heed the advice. You've probably been receiving advice already from maybe close friends, family members, could be your partner, right? That's kind of advising you to open up and just say how you feel and say, look, right, don't wait for this to happen. You have to take the initiative, right? That's the important thing, because if you want something, it's not going to just fall in your lap. So it may be that you've already been receiving some sound advice, but whatever it is that inspires you to take this leap of faith and communicate how you feel, you're going to do it, and you're going to do it successfully as well. I feel like if you've been nervous in the past, or you feel like you haven't been able to successfully communicate that in the past, you will be able to now, quite efficiently. So I just want to see like what would the overall outcome be. Eight of Wands. So I think you would see a shift, right? I feel like you would see a shift in your circumstances. You may not get the outcome you want immediately, but I feel like there would be some progress. So it's worth taking that chance, right? Because with the Eight of Pentacles as well, people assume that that's going to kind of lead to negative circumstances, but not necessarily. It can actually go in your favour. It just may not happen quite in the way you expected or as quickly as you wanted. So you're going to have to persevere and know that good things come to those who are persistent, right? You've got the Strength card as well. So yeah, you know, be assertive in what you want and don't take no for an answer, right? You know, just keep working at it. So now I want to look at how you can best level up, right? How you can best get to that position that you want to be in. What's the best way for Virgo to do that? Okay. And you got the Four of Wands. What am I saying? The Four of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like, yeah, you need to be not afraid. You have to be a risk taker, right? If you're afraid of losing something, if you're afraid of stepping out of your comfort zone in order to go after what you really want, you're going to be stuck here, right? And you may actually end up losing things as a result, not gaining, right? So your best bet is to take the risk, go after what it is that you truly want. Nothing ever, you know, nothing incredible is ever gained by sitting comfortably, right? So you have to actively push yourself out of your comfort zone and pursue what it is that you truly want in life, okay? Take the risk. You'll be okay either way. Even if things don't go your way initially, even if you end up on a completely new trajectory, that's fine. It could lead to something better, right? So unless you take that risk, you'll never know. But I think that's all I need to really say on the subject. I think it's quite clear. So just to recap, you need to find a way to communicate how you feel and what it is that you truly want with those who are in a position to give you that. You need to not be afraid of taking risks and to communicate your feelings, because you will be able to do it in an effective way and it won't be received negatively. You need to trust in your skill set, because you've got the skills. You're usually very successful in communicating your ideas and making them come to life, and they're usually received very well, right? So you have favor on your side, so just go for it, okay? And just be aware that, you know, your tendency to put others first is partially what's making you unhappy now. So it's important that you find that balance, right? That work-life balance, because that is affecting you as well. It's not just not having this particular thing, but it's also the fact that you feel like you can't dedicate the time you want or need to yourself or the things that you're interested in doing, right? So you just got to find that balance. So I hope that was helpful for you, Virgo. And yeah, it was really fun to do this read in this format. I hope you like it. Do let me know in the comments if you did enjoy this format, or if you prefer just like seeing the hands and, you know, the cards, then that's fine. But yeah, just let me know, because it's just, you know, I'm just experimenting right now and seeing, you know, what works best. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Do leave your thoughts in the comments if you enjoyed it. If you hated it, that's fine. Like if you did like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be doing your next read very soon. So see ya.